Omni Sports Breakfast.
Well, we are getting into not the sports news now, where Secretary General of the South African Football Players Union, or SAFPU, Nhlanhla Shabalala, now joins us on the line. Shaba, good to have you. Let's talk about the Royal AM matter. When did SAFPU hear that there was trouble in KZN?
Good morning, Romy, and good morning to the listeners. We became aware of this matter late in 2024, around November, December. The follow-up to that was when the players were called into a meeting on the 28th of December, just to be informed that there will be salary delays in terms of the payments due to the accounts of the club being frozen and the curatorship being appointed to take charge and run the affairs of that particular account.
Where do we stand at the moment? Have players been paid?
Yes, Romy, the players were paid indeed. It was, I think it's 2 weeks ago now that the players were paid. They received their monies and they returned to training.
But is that for December? Was that for December, or have they been paid all outstanding money? Because we're coming to the end of January. So have they been paid for end of Jan as well? And is it all players and not only player members of SAFPU?
No, it's all the players that have been paid, Romy, and it was their December salaries because they received their money sometime mid-January. So the January month has not come to an end because we know that contractually the salary payments must be paid by no later than the last day of the month. So there is no infringement at this point in terms of the payments, and all the players would have received their money. There were no complaints or formal complaints or even informal that were brought to SAFPU's attention. So as we know, that situation is it's steady in terms of the finances at this point in time.
So if they're not complaining about non-payment and that is in good standing, what are your members complaining about?
No, the members are not really complaining, Roms. I think they have fears. More than anything for them, it's the concerns that comes in relation to the job security, because, we would have seen how difficult the situation would have been when they had to get their payments in January, where all stakeholders convened actually to try and resolve the matter. So the anxiety of the unknown, when you live on a month to month and there are just complications that are hanging, then you are not really free to plan your life in terms of that. So that's the security that they want to have so that they can play football at least until the end of the season and take things forward. Yeah.
They voice their opinions, obviously. We've heard a little bit from the players in the media when this broke, but not much. What voice does a union bring in? When players, I feel themselves, have a voice, you go in as a union. What do you do in order to broker the fears that they have and to ensure that their rights are upheld?
Yeah, the important thing is the consultative process with the management of the clubs. And this is where we say it is very important as stakeholders to know that the job of the union, we don't exist to destroy football, but to build football and safeguard the rights of these players. But when there are complications at the club, when we reach out, we need to be given that platform and be appraised with the necessary information so that when we speak to the players, it comes from an informed position from the club, and we can then therefore pronounce on our position as the union and map up the way forward. And that's exactly what we would have done. We were in touch with the Royal AM management. We spoke to the president, Mamkise, as well as the technical, in Richard Makoba, the manager. And the lengthy discussions we had at least gave us insight into this particular matter. And I think that empowers everybody to ensure that football becomes the winner at the end of the day. But we have a responsibility that we won't shy away from. First and foremost, we put players. Everything else comes after that. And that's exactly what we concern ourselves with.
But Shaba, members actually pay to be a part of the union, right? There is a fee, there is a stipend, if you would, that comes into the union. So when you go and you represent, are you only representing your members, or do you now represent the football players, the team as a whole?
Yeah. We represent the team as a whole, Romy. It cannot be selective, and which is why the important thing is that all these players must rally behind the union, because in situations like this, we cannot have multiple representations insofar as this matter is concerned. It creates complications. If I must just throw an example and take you back, Yeah, the Morocco Swallows matter, it was similar where everybody was charged with the same charge and the union was appointed to deal with that matter. But from there onwards, players started appointing the people that were recommended by lawyers or friends or family. Now it sort of like disrupts the whole progress of the case. And we've won that case because players had not gone to strike. We received an award just before the end of the year, whilst others who took a different direction lost that case even on appeal. So I'm not saying that the union will always win the fights for the players, but I'm saying this unity works for us and it works in our favor to strengthen this brand that is suffering.
Are players keeping fit? I mean, the game was cancelled. They're not allowed into their training grounds. The municipality has come back also with their own 27 million rand partnership deal that now has gone sour. How do players maintain that they, I guess, keep some form of fitness, Shaba, because they don't know what tomorrow brings?
Yeah, definitely, Roms. They are still training. The players trained yesterday.
Where?
There's a
How?
scheduled training at the range where they reside in Maritzburg. And they are training also today because the management assured them that they're doing their best to resolve the situation. And they don't want a situation of a start and stop because there are problems that are here now. If they send everybody home for only to come back when the matters are resolved, they might need 3-4 more weeks probably to train and get the team fit. So for the purpose of continuity, and whilst the team remains positive that it will resolve this matter, players are training. And I think importantly to highlight, they've all been paid. So at this particular point in time, there is nothing that has been done towards the players insofar as the salary payments are concerned. So it is expected that they must report for duty until the team pronounces otherwise as we continue to monitor the situation.
In the hope that obviously January's payment does come, because around the corner is the end of the month, which means they're still waiting for that payment. Shaba, you said you've consulted obviously very quickly with management. We're also hearing murmurings and whispers of a deal that might be brokered and that we might see this team sold come Monday.
Everything is a possibility at this point in time. I'm sure that all
what have you heard,
possible
though?
avenues.
What have you heard? Anything? Is that on the table? Is it something concrete where a new owner comes in order to rescue the situation?
Now, what we know, Rom, is that there's a high intention to save football and ensure that the credibility of the league is intact, and we don't really violate the agreement with the sponsors, because the number of clubs the league starts with, there is a number of clubs that the league is intended to end with, so that there's continuity and funding towards the league. And personally, I know that the club is trying to find the other ways. I know that the league has a concern as well in terms of this. So all parties will try and assist and facilitate for this process, just to make sure that it's either RLM continues and the curator at least offers that undertaking, which is a letter of comfort to know that the league is secure until the end of June, or somebody that might have to buy. And it's a very, I think, uncommon that happens during the season. But I think these are exceptional circumstances. And we are all pulling together to ensure that we save football, we secure the livelihoods of the players from me. And some of the things I cannot reveal at this point in time.
I figured.
But everybody's working hard, yeah.
Shaba, you on your way there? Why, if everything seems to be going okay?
I am on my way so that I meet with management, because these consultations must continue. Remember, just a
But doesn't
couple of days
management
ago,
have to be in Joburg at 11 a.m. at the PSL for the meeting today?
I know that there are meetings that have been going on, Roms. And if I must tell you, during the weekend, even last week, there are 2-3 meetings that are happening almost every day or second day. And that is the norm. I'm seeing the players, and I will also see management based on the latest developments. Because, I mean, SAF also has an interest to also put in place our submissions in relation to the curator. Because from what we understood previously is that the matter is under control. But given the last 10 of events, it requires us to amplify things, maybe on the legal aspect, as it were, and we are currently preparing those particular submissions. And it's just to give the players comfort, give them the direction, and tell them what we expect. It's just a matter of guidance insofar as this is concerned, and
Right.
how
Okay.
best we can assist.
I got you. We'll check in with you again on Monday. Nhlanhla Shabalala, their Secretary General of SAFBU, just giving us the assurance that everything is okay so far at Royal AM.
Doesn't sound. I don't know about that. It just
Look,
sounds a bit.
I'm happy that they've
There's two
been.
different stories now. Yeah.
It's one story. I think there's just many different parts to it, with this being one part, and they look after the rights of the player. So far, they've been paid, right? Nobody's told not to come to work, and now the story unfolds further.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to be found out. And maybe we'll find out Monday if they're going to be
Definitely. I mean, we will be giving him a ring again on Monday just to find out, because, like I said, the story continues to unfold. 11 o'clock today, I'll be watching The Wires.
Okay, great. Monday morning. See you then. Have a great weekend.
You too. Cheerio.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.